we're gonna need Dane to give his thoughts on Robert Pattinson shares how Final Fantasy VII teaches men how to love.
So originally I loved when you sent me this. I was so happy because like this is one, if not my favorite video game of all time, Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's why I sent it to you.
I know. And he's trying to explain to Zoe Kravitz
Yep.
why a lot of young boys fell in love with two characters in the game that are called Aerith and Tifa.
Okay,
Tifa's
Aerith
like my
or
favorite.
Eris? I've
Okay,
literally heard
so-
both.
In the game that we got in the US, the translation was Eris.
Yes, with an S.
With an S.
But in the other
So my
version,
whole life I was Eris. But now that they have like voice dialogue, it's Aerith.
mm-hmm.
And so I guess that's the one. So Aerith. And
Dude.
he says it. He's like
Mhm.
cognizant of that distinction.
Yep. So he's
But-
clearly a fan.
But
Yeah.
the problem I have with like video game players, even myself, is that when we're explaining the plot of games, we overtly simplify them for other people because they don't care and they don't have the time. So we
He's not
overtly
going to
simplify.
imagine. Zoe Kravitz isn't at home playing Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
Even the remake.
And so he's explaining these two characters as one as, and I'm trying to quote, is like the healer that like heals everyone, and the other one is like a scantily like dressed one, and
Yep.
that you're in love with both of them.
Mhm.
But like these characters are so much more complex than that. And I want to take a second
Well,
to
read the quote first so people know
Sure.
what you're talking about.
It's a love triangle where Eris, she's like the really kind girl who has a superpower to heal everyone and make everyone better. And then Tifa, she's like a sexy little thing who's a thief. She's not a thief at all. And wears a short skirt. And you're like, I can't decide. And then Eris, right at her peak, she gets killed. This is how every guy figures what love is.
I don't know what guys he's interacting with, but
Right.
I
No.
did not figure out love through somebody dying.
Okay, so
Where she gets stabbed.
Okay, so in the game, you have the protagonist is called Cloud. He has a flashback to a scene where he's talking to his mother, and his mother says, "You're so handsome. Why don't you have a girlfriend?" He's like, "Mom, like stop it." And the mother tells him, "You should get an older girl that takes care of you because I'm worried about you. You're like a soldier. You're like always like in battle, like yada yada." So Tifa is his like hometown neighbor
Mm-hmm.
that it's grown up with him. So that's one aspect of the love triangle. Aerith is kind of like what his mom recommended for him, is like an older woman that takes care of him, but like ironically he's her bodyguard. Like they have like a
Yeah.
little arrangement because she helped heal him. So you be my bodyguard, but she takes care of him in like an introspective way that most guys don't get from anyone.
Mm-hmm.
From anyone. No one asks guys how they're doing. No
So
one.
there's a lot of context
Right.
missing from this.
So Tifa is this one girl. So the protagonist is a soldier that's going through some like psycho PTSD, where he has some killer migraines that like take him out of the moment all the time, and he's like and everyone's like, "Dude, are you okay?" And his best friend like seen him go through this, and she's seen him like stretch the truth out of stories and make shit up, and she's like, okay, so she's kind of like monitoring him and seeing like how he goes about all this. So they have like a very like
Mhm.
romantic like
It's like
girl next door relationship. But Aerith, she was in love with a soldier. He died, and so like she's working through her traumas through him as he's working through his traumas with her. So that's that beautiful part of the relationship where they're both known as, he's known as a standoffish character, but through her he grows soft, and he learns how to open up to everyone,
Mhm.
even Tifa, who's like his best friend, and he that openness gets her to confront him and be like, "Hey man, you've been lying and exaggerating all these things. Are you okay?" And so there's so much depth to the romance, and he only says it's like, "Oh, one's hot and the other one heals the
Yeah.
world," which is like stereotypes, and I can see her getting like annoyed again by like, you know, like the manic pixie
Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
dream girl, and like her being like, "Oh god, another one of these." but it's actually like a super complex and beautiful romance. And I wish, I mean, and he's in an interview. Naturally, he's not in a pop culture show, so he can like go into like all the nuances. But yeah, that is why some guys would learn, I guess, about romance through Final Fantasy, because
Mhm.
like,
Well,
he-
it's also the storytelling is really good and you submerge yourself into it.
right, and
Like, I felt heartbroken when, like, basically she got stabbed in the back by Sephiroth.
yeah, she gets murdered, and like he gets possessed in some games, and he hurts her,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and like he loves her, and like he never, like, he's a really reserved guy, so he like really, she's the only one that gets anything out of him, like any
Mhm.
sort of like, do you like this or don't, you have to express yourself.
Yeah, it kind of explains, like, when you fall in love for the first time, you love this person so much, but when you...
But you're not good at loving, you know, and
like,
he's a kid.
You don't know how to love yet. And,
Right.
like, he should have explained it this way. Like, it's like falling in love for the first time. Like, you have this healer, you think she's the one for you, and you're going to stay with...
And you lose her.
And you lose her because it's either she dies or, like, you break up and it's like a tragic breakup and you don't know how to cope with it.
And
But then you have the girl who's always been with you,
Right.
and, like, they know what you're going through. You have...
Who
like,
empathizes with you.
Yeah.
That's like, oh man, this, I kind of have a crush on him, but this
Mhm.
girl like gets him to open up in a way that I can. So in a way, like, even
Yeah.
just out of
it's like
respect
a
for that.
platonic love.
Right.
It's a
No,
platonic...
It ends up being romantic, but
Yeah.
like, that's
But
the
at-
beauty of it.
Yeah.
But at first it's like platonic. Like, they've
Mhm.
been best friends for a long time. Like, you have that kind of friend where it's like,
Mhm.
it's so platonic. Like, you basically can say things, but then you have that special someone who you can open up even more.
Theirs was always like a hint of romantic, because
Yeah.
there was like a promise for take care of him and one,
Mhm.
him take care of her and whatnot. But it's that, like, it's this whole journey,
Mhm.
right? And so
That's why Final Fantasy, like, the storytelling is mwah.
it's beautiful. That's why it's my favorite genre. It's my favorite series of video games, and it's
Mhm.
why I like TV shows and video games as the superior form for telling stories.
Mhm.
You interact with them, and it's a show don't tell, because Cloud's not like, oh Aerith, you helped me open up with my emotions. He's not. He just starts talking more,
Mhm.
you know. And you've been 60 hours with the guy,
Mhm.
listening to him talk about anything.
Mhm.
And like, knowing that in the beginning his response to the thing is like dot dot dot, like, I don't care, man, I like it. And
Mhm.
like, from that to like apologizing to everyone and things like that,
Yeah.
that's the growth. So
Yeah, like, that's why I prefer, like, Final Fantasy, like, storytelling, because it's, like, so in depth. Like, it's kind of like you're reading a visual novel. Like, have you seen those, like, the light novels where Japan produces sometimes, which has, like, really good writing?
and these are really complex characters. Essentially, they are like eco-terrorists,
Yeah.
as they're being labeled by the press, and the world is like essentially all the, like, what's it called when corporations like own the government? Fascism, I guess. It's like a fascist state where like there's an energy company that essentially has created so much infrastructure in the world that to like gain like socio-political power, they frame people as eco-terrorists when actually their intentions are noble. So it's a super complex game in terms of story and character development and how they grow. And I think it's really beautiful, honestly, to see such a mainstream guy, especially like a guy that's in all these like romance films, right?
Yeah.
So like so many girls fetishize him, and that he, like, his background in romance is kind of similar to us like geek dudes. So I don't know, I think it's kind of cool, and it's beautiful that he like got that out there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
I just wish he had like flushed that out.
Well, he should have, like, especially... Because
It's
I
an
didn't,
interview.
like...
He didn't have the time. He gave
I'm
a
sure,
very
yeah.
basic,
I'm sure.
or he might have even done it and they just chose the quote they felt fit the best.
Yeah.
I'm just upset at like the again, like the point of view, like, oh, guys just care about the manic pixie and the girl with the huge, you know what's.
Yep.
Well, like, that's why I wish, like, he described Tifa better, because
Yeah.
Tifa's so much more than just a girl wearing a skimpy outfit.
Yeah, she's the rock of the group. She's like the moral like stability.
And plus, like, I love, like, how everybody cosplays as her, because, like, I'm like, yes, that's beautiful.
She's my favorite, like in the game, Tifa.
I don't know. Which one was your favorite Final
Tifa,
Fantasy?
always.
No, Final
sorry.
Fantasy game.
6.
6? Oh, okay.
6, 7, 9.
Okay. Which one is the one where they actually drive cars now?
15.
15. Okay.
Also really nice.
That one is really nice because I like the story because like I was following their
It's a bromance.
It's a bromance. So basically I was following their YouTube channel because they had a whole anime series for it.
Mhm.
And like I fell in love with it because like basically he's the prince, but he doesn't want people to know that he's a prince. Like he's very humble, but he's kind of like Cloud where he's kind of to himself. And like basically his servant who wasn't his servant, who became his friend. Like he just bumped into him. He's like sorry, and he's like I want to protect him, and he like lost all the weight and became like this OP man who like just I believe he fights with a sword, right? The blonde kid.
Gun.
My bad.
Prompto.
Yeah. And then he has like a bodyguard, and then like the guy with the glasses, I'm like, oof, I love him.
Yeah, man. So this series, more so than a lot of video game series, pulls you at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 9, I wept at the ending.
What was the ending again?
I don't want to. I mean, it's 20 years. Like, go after yourself. If you're crying about spoilers. So the game begins with a play.
Yeah.
And essentially, you're a band of thieves, and you've been given the objective to like essentially kidnap the princess.
Yeah.
By creating a ruse in the kingdom of like being a big play, which the queen is going to watch and everyone's gonna watch. And then while everyone's distracted, you're actually gonna kidnap the princess. The reason why you're kidnapping the princess is ultimately you're the good guy because it's like a foreign kingdom like hiring you because the queen's insane. And it ends with the character, the protagonist, you think he's dead, but he reveals that he's a character in the play, and like they meet and embrace, and it's beautiful. But so this is like a series that like really like pulls you by the heartstrings and the emotions. So it's a really nice one.
Yeah, and then like my favorite supervillain.
What's your favorite Final Fantasy?
I remember growing up with 6, but I was introduced to Final Fantasies through the movie. You remember that animated movie? That was the one that I kind of fell in love with because it kind of like I know it's
I can't watch it.
I know it's trash.
You mean the Final Fantasy 7 one?
No, the one in like early 2000s.
That never happened.
Well, I like it. I like it because it had one of my favorite characters, the guy with the red hair. I forgot what his name was. But like
I never watched it. Like, I can't, like, out of respect.
Well, like, I liked it, but they had a moment because, I think they had their own, like, Tifa kind of character, and she kind of died. Sorry, stink bug. Basically, like, they had their own version of Tifa character, and, like, she's dying, and he's like, please don't die. I actually love you. And she's like, sorry, bro, I'm dying. She's like, I'm out. And it's like it made me so sad, but then like they revive her at the end and she's like, do you actually mean it? And he's like, yes. And like they kiss at the end and I'm like, oh, this is so cute.
That sounds horrible. I won't watch it.
Yeah, it sounded horrible.
Thank God I didn't
everything.
watch that.
I mean, trying to explain something that emotional, even if it is, it's very hard to do.
I read it. Yeah,
like that's it. I do want to get your guys' opinion real quick on. Did you guys watch the final Morbius and the final?
I did. I liked it.
And did you like that one better, or did you like the Fantastic Beasts trailer better?
I like the Morbius one better.
Yep.
Really?
I agree. Fantastic.
I love
Beasts
Mads, but like still.
Fantastic Beasts just feels like Harry Potter knockoff. I do love. Well, I know, but I'm saying like they haven't like the music evokes the same context and everything like that. I do think it's funny how J.K. Rowling is literally uncancelable.
Oh my God.
Like I thought they would at least leave her name out of the advertising. Nope, her name is front and center in there.
She keeps trying to alter like the timelines for everything. It's like, well, actually, Harry and Hermione ended up together. It's like. They didn't do. Shut up. Like,
they talk about the Grindelwald duel with Dumbledore being a retcon because within the context of the books, the duel would have happened in like 1945, like around the end of the war. And instead in this one they're younger, so it takes place earlier on. It's funny to me because I can't believe that we talked Johnny Depp earlier. They recast Grindelwald, and I love Mads Mikkelsen, but
I love
she let me down when somebody like her, who's constantly being canceled, had to go and not support Johnny Depp, who was being canceled for far less. as far as like his being basically he was accused of something that nobody could ever prove, and then we found out that the stuff between him and Amber Heard was a bunch of back and forth, and it was never what it was, and he lost out on work because of that. Though I guess it's possible she didn't have a say in the matter. Warner Brothers could have been like no and put their foot down, but as far as I know, she's like the last author to have real, true creative control over her material. Now when young adult authors write books, they sign over just about everything as far as rights to the publisher.
I don't think this is like the hill she wants to die on.
No.
Johnny Depp.
Well, that's stupid because if she expects other people to tolerate her opinions that go against the public grain, Johnny Depp being accused of something that they can't prove. And then him being in a back and forth with somebody who's clearly just as bad to him in a relationship that was mutually toxic for both of them isn't a reason to fire someone.
I don't know. I think it's consistent because like the thing that she gets canceled for is women and all like women things and like.
But she stood by him through Beast 2, and then it just kept happening. They just can't win. I agree. I think the Morbius trailer was better. I do worry that they've shown way too much of the movie.
No, they didn't.
I cringe at Jared Leto now.
Why?
His Joker was like so bad that I think it literally disqualifies all his body of work.
Oh.
Even the music, it's like you're done.
I don't know anybody who listens to 30 Seconds to Mars anyways. That was the
Wait,
band, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. The movie reminds me of like I felt like I was watching 2002 Daredevil when I saw this. I love it. It feels, and I'm not. That's not me saying that 2002 Daredevil was a good movie. I'm saying it was simpler times. It feels like a movie from another time, and I like that. I think they've expanded on the Vulture character, the Kevin Costner's character. I think he'll be in it more. I was surprised I didn't even recognize Matt Smith when I first watched this trailer, being the Doctor Who. That now makes three actors who have played the Doctor playing bad guys in movies like in Marvel movies. I think Eccleston did as well, and I think also Purple Man was played by David Tennant.
Purple Man.
Well, Kilgrave.
Yeah.
Kilgrave is the coolest name for a character ever. So I'm excited to see Morbius. I wish they would have. I don't think they needed to make another trailer. I really don't. So that movie's coming up quick. That's just less than a month away. So that will be April 1st. I'm guessing that we'll have the Batman dominating the box office up until then.
For sure.
And tomorrow we're going to do one of the things we're going to cover is like final box office predictions for the Batman with it coming out this weekend. So
Sorry, like stink bugs are like attacking me now.
they're out to get you because you were mean to me earlier. So the stink bugs have rallied in my defense.
Good
No.
for you, Brett. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, get a bunch of bugs that are tiny and meaningless to attack me.
Okay.
Maybe I will.
Maybe I will. Exactly. Yeah. No. You good?
Yeah, I'm
You
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, Morbius definitely probably. I'm just not interested in that Fantastic Beast. I'm not.
Really? I'm kind of excited for it because I want to see like all the creatures. That's why the first movie got me because like the creatures that they had in it.
Feels like they're trying to make a Suicide Squad movie.
I love the Fantastic Beasts. I thought it was very entertaining.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I don't like the Harry Potter movies either. I like the books. So.
Okay,
fuck
nerd.
The movies took advantage of the fact that people actually read the books. Like if you watched the movies and hadn't read the books, they'd make no sense to
The
you.
fifth, my favorite book was the fifth one, and then I saw the fifth movie, and they didn't have any of the parts
Interesting.
I wanted.
The fifth one. For
Order of
most,
the
it's the
Phoenix.
fourth.
I know. Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire is the one that most, even for me, I fall into that category. That and 2. I love the earlier books as well too because they're more simple.
For me, it's the fifth and the maybe fourth, but like fifth, 100%.
The fourth works better as a book, not a movie. The movie was awful because
the movie was great too.
of the fourth one.
I think it was the best movie.
No, there's so much missing from it.
That was my problem with the fifth.
Yeah, like there's just so much missing. So, the Fantastic Beast movies don't pull me in, but we'll see it anyway. So, I do love them. As much as annoying as it is that the music feels just the same as the Harry Potter movies, I love that score. So
for sure,
that's hard to knock.
Yeah.
Visually it's pretty, but it's still weird seeing Mads playing that character after.
I like Mads, but I can only.
He's the best villain face in the business.
I think I'm gonna go watch Casino Royale when we're done with this.
I want to rewatch Hannibal now because I miss his role for that.
I want to watch it now because
It's super
you guys
good.
talking about it.
It's super good. Like, basically, it gets frustrating for a little bit because, like, they're literally playing cat and mouse in the whole show. And, like, finally, he's like, I'll let you in a secret. You've been eating humans.
Yep. I mean, they were cooked humans, so it's not like, yeah.
Well,
That makes it better.
yeah, well, there's a lot of theories about human meat. It tastes like pig. That's why, human meat, if you read, like, books, they describe human meat as long pig.
Ugh.
Thanks for that.
I didn't
Sorry.
catch Dane. I tried to switch to the camera to Dane's face with the face he made after she
Gross,
said that,
dude.
and I didn't get it quite in time. But it was
No,
exact.
that's what, like, books are saying about human meat, but, like,
What books are you reading?
God, this today has gone in some weird direction. There's going to
sorry.
need to be some editing in today's
This
episode.
is the multiverse episode.
Well, also, I didn't read those books, but I watched a film theory where he talks about Wally and they're secretly eating each other. Like, Soylent is actually made out of ground up human meat.
Fun.
Oh yeah, Wally, it's ruined for you now.
Lovely. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.